Oh yeah, let's get our wet weenie on. So I'll be doing the competitive metagame challenge here for these games. As far as I'm concerned, this is probably the best place to showcase decks. I've had a lot of success with the Thick Weenie so far. I do have a perfect 7. I think I also have a 5, 4 with it, and a 0. Like, I mean, obviously there's going to be some variation, but as far as I can jumbled there. As far as I'm concerned, very solid deck. Already up a game. Titty. Titty? Movie 2 titties. I guess TT was the say it. So this is kind of exactly what we want. It's not perfect. Perfect would be well, it depends on the matchup, but perfect would be probably a History of Benalia. But this is pretty solid. We are on the draw, which is a little bit weaker, but I wonder what this is. So we're gonna throw out the Dauntless Bodyguard first. And we're actually assuming that he has a shock. A little weird for him to pay out the life that it doesn't. And of these creatures, Bodyguard is the least important. So the Bodyguard essentially did 2 damage. Traded. Pretty solid for us, actually. We can be happy with that. We're not going to double play this turn. We're actually just going to Type Taker. And there is a good reason for that. We are still worried about another removal. So a Shock or a Lightning Bolt. The more likelihood that we get our Legion's Landing to flip, the more likely we are to win. So our goal here is actually just to flip the Legion's Landing. Now, attack here first. Again, I feel like he has another removal. And maybe not. But let's Time Raveler. And we're actually going to bounce his Cindervines. We don't actually care about Cindervines at all. But we want him to have to recast it, and really we're interested in the draw here. The Time Raveler is not really good in this matchup for us. It's more of just tempo, right? We're trying to slow down our opponent to whatever he's trying to do. Okay. So the Rekindling Phoenix, kind of a bad card for us, but it allows us to be really aggressive here with the rest of our plays. So we're going to Law Enforcer, to Enforcer, Dive Taker. And we're just going to +1. Most likely he'll want to kill off the Teferi here, and it'll open him up really good, nice damage on our part. Right, we're set up for a nice Legion's Landing flip here. I don't expect any sweepers from this kind of deck. Though main board Cindervines, maybe I'm wrong. Ooh, Darmy's Ambush. I'm kind of on the fence on how I feel about that card. To me, it just feels like a sorcery speed removal. I don't know. We'll definitely see. I'm playing it a little bit by ear on that card. Right, so the Gideon Blackblade doesn't change our play. Still planning on doing Legion's Landing flip. Just attack. Him blocking there doesn't really bother us. And then during his turn, our plan is to tap with the Law-Rune Enforcer on the unless he buffs the Dread Horde Arcanist. So something like this, which doesn't actually kill our Enforcer, but it gives this +1/+1, which means he's going to be able to ambush twice this turn. So in response, we're actually going to tap the Arc. because we don't want him to get another counter for. Now, if he was smart, he would have done that on the Type Taker. It's like a bit of a misplay to me, but I'm not gonna judge. Now we tap the Phoenix and we attack in and win. Pretty straightforward. It kind of shows you the strength of the Law-Rune Enforcer against these stompier decks, which rely on just quality creatures. Right, so in this matchup, again, I really like the Law-Rune Enforcer. He did kind of show us that he is running more of a spell-based Gruul, which might actually, yeah, that's gonna change my mind on going the full play set of Rune Enforcers. I'm just gonna run the one. We're really not worried about quality here. Because we're not worried about quality, we're gonna cut a Vanguard, and I think we're gonna actually cut the Raveler. But I'm not 100% sold on that yet. There is some definite benefits to us bouncing the Phoenix. So I may keep it. I want to bring in a Deputy. You know what? I'm going to bring in 2 Deputies, get rid of the Raveler, and cut a formation. We don't want to be too dependent on... We still want to have enough beef. So by cutting a formation for some removal, it kind of balances out. You don't want to change the core of this deck too much. You're just looking for additional good. I think there can be some arguments for bringing in Veto here. And though, if he's running Domri's Ambush, because it's sorcery speed, I don't really care that much. Maybe that's arrogance. Ooh, well, this is a bad hand. And you're up a game, and I'm okay keeping a bad hand in this situation. We have everything we need if we hit our land drops, and I'm cool with that. But I'm a little reckless. Don't follow my example on this. Oh, look at that. We never didn't have it. My viewers like this. It's we'll go with that. So ideally we won't see any early game here. Steamkin is probably one of the worst cards for us to see. But we'll offer the trade. We won't take it, but we get some free life and go this number. See what happens. Crinkly. Happy to see Crank. We have the answer for the Krenko right now. Question is whether or not we want to use it. I think the answer is yes, but I'm more worried about the Steamkin in you and me. If I'm worried about the Steamkin, no, you know what? We have to get rid of the Krenko. It gets out of hand too quickly, and once it's out of hand, we don't have any good like sweeper effects. The only good answer we would have is another Deputy of Detention, and because we were only running 2, that's just not where we want to be. Now we are setting ourselves up for a really nice Unbreakable formation next turn. I would love to Unbreakable into Loxodon. Hoping he doesn't have a follow-up here. Because we know he's running Domri's Ambush, he actually probably isn't running Lightning Strike. A lot of people have been boarding out Lightning. Alright, so I really want to flip that Legion thing. But how can I do this in a greedy way? Or non-greedy way? We're at 8 right now, the Sentry's not flipped. I'm pretty sure all we want to do... I mean, we could Marshal and Loxodon, and then save our formation for next turn. The risk is if he has Sweepers or Domri's Ambush in hand, we may run into some... I think we risk it, because if he Domri's Ambush, he's probably going to want to bust the Deputy. Let's risk it. Let's do some greed here. Do some great board presence play. See what happens. I don't think he can kill us this turn. And we're going to let him get us as low as he wants. Oh, that's really good for us. Oh, maybe not. We'll see what this is. Ooh, Chandra. Really sexy card. But against us, it doesn't mean anything. And you'll see why here in a second. Okay, so we could Vanguard next turn, or after the attack, but I'd rather Dauntless here. We're gonna Dauntless the Marshal, and then we're gonna do exactly what we were planning. We're just getting a little extra value out of the Unbreakable for me, because I don't think we need the Adanto. I like our position. He's gonna chump block probably the 6 with the Phoenix, but he has to block at least one other thing. Ideally, he has to block 2, but it depends on how he does his map. The Arcanist will probably block the other 6/6, and he might let the rest. But he's setting himself up for a really bad next turn, while his board state, I mean, it threatens us, but it's not better than ours. Let's see what he does. Ooh. Ooh, he's gonna do a lot of blocking here. Okay. He's worried about us just going wide on him. This is good for us. Honestly, our stuff doesn't get weaker this turn. And all he's got now is a Phoenix and 2 cards. Let's see what the 2 cards... Well, I guess the Arcanist too, but Arcanist can't fetch anything right now, and really that's its strength. And if he attacks, he loses that strength. Oh, Chandra. You sexy little thing. Now, between the Marshal and obviously the Unbreakable formation, that shock is kind of useless right now. If he has a Lightning Strike in hand and he was able to shock and Lightning Strike the Marshal, backs in with the Arcanist, I didn't see a lot of good options for him there. That's the one weakness with Chandra. Really great card, good for card advantage because no one really wants to attack her. But we're thick weenies, right? Keep going. I'll probably play this until we lose. For that, not sure how their videos usually are. I know I watch a lot of Merchant, and generally they're in sequence games. I kind of want to follow that style. It's cherry picking the game. Bad way to showcase a deck. First here, so this is a pretty shitty hand. Just because we don't have a lot of playable. If this ends up being like a red deck wins, this is a bad hand. Against a control, this might not be as bad, but it's still not a hand that we really want to keep here. But I kept it anyway. It's I think this is one of those debates that a lot of people have where should you keep, should you mulligan? And mulliganing is basically putting yourself a whole turn behind. And that seems really bad to me, right? Especially when you're playing like a deck, an aggressive white weenie. Every turn matters to you. But then you have stuff like this where you didn't curve out nicely. We're not looking to curve out pretty nice here. We're hoping our opponent plays something like a Skanta. History of Benalia would probably be our best draw. And that's hoping that he doesn't have like a Veto. Land is the opposite of a good draw for us. We are worried about Cry the Canarium. Any other removal. However, the Unbreakable doesn't really push us out of that range. Because we're desperate, I think we might actually Unbreakable that. Sure. I don't know if I like that play. But I don't see any plays for us in the future, so it might be okay. Might not be okay. I don't really know. I guess the theory is, why didn't we do it beforehand when it mattered? If he does it again, I think we have to let this one through. And the goal would be to Unbreakable Akaya's removal. It's interesting that he did the Bodyguard, but I guess I can understand it. It's the most... Oh, Law-Rune. This is the only matchup where I'm a little sad to see. Ideally, we can get our Legion's Landing off this turn. We see Kaya's... Whoa. Okay. Somebody hates White Weenie. Alright, so this is actually a really good matchup case because it's probably the hardest one for us and the most common. So the first thing we do is we remove the Law-Rune Enforcers. We want that extra beef. I also like to bring in Dovin's Veto and all of my Ravelers. Now, usually I like to bring in the Falcons too. But because we didn't get to see a lot from his deck, I'm a little bit worried about bringing in the Falcons. So we're just going to remove... so we take out Tribunals because the Vetoes are kind of replacing its role in our deck. We're also taking out the Loxodons because we don't have a lot... We don't want to commit too much to the board, and that's kind of what Loxodon does. And we replace the Loxodons with Screechers. You could do the Falcons instead of the Screechers. I'm still considering making that, you know, the hard rule, but... or the soft rule, but for this deck, because we didn't get to see enough of our opponent, and because I've seen them bring in Thief of Sanity a lot against us, I'm gonna go with the Screech. Again though, Screecher versus Falcon, I think it's gotta get a feel for your opponent. We just didn't get to see enough to have that. This is a bad hand. We don't have our 2 colors. But getting Vanguard out on curve makes me a little happy. A lot of decks are not using, you know, like a full playset of Ravens anymore. Those are Teferi. I think he might look at the fact that we have no blue source and gotta giggle to himself. But he should get rid of the Raveler because the Raveler is a big problem for get top deck of blue source here. It goes with Giddy. I don't agree with that one bit. But it's our opponent's choice, and we have to respect that. We just blatantly play out the Marshal here. If he wants a sweeper, all he's getting is the Marshal. And I think we're happy with that. Hostage take. On the Vanguard? What? Okay, alright. Come on, blue source. Come on, blue source. It's like it knew. It's like it knew we wanted that. This is going really well, guys. This doesn't normally happen. I swear. Okay. Next turn, we hold up Deep Veto. We're not going to Screecher. Does he take the Vanguard again? Ooh. Let's see. I don't agree with that play. Don't. I think he should be taking the Marshal. Oh, actually, maybe we do overcommit the Screecher. I might be okay with it, because we are holding Veto up for a sweeper. And I don't think he blocks the Bodyguard. Obviously, he has this fascination with the Vanguard. I think this is good. I think I can get behind that. The question though becomes, if he played a Teferi here, would we veto it? Don't have lethal on board, but it's very close to lethal. If we were to top deck Unbreakable, we have lethal. So you know what? I'm actually going to veto that. It's a little stupid if he ends up having a sweeper, but I feel like if he had the sweeper, he would have used it. So we're going to do it. Plus we have a little bit of sweeper protection with the bodyguard. So we actually have two options here. If we wanted to, we could do Screecher for +1/+1, which would protect us from a double block from the Hostage Taker and the Vanguard. I don't think I want to do that though. I think if he wants to double block us, we're okay with it. He'll go down to 2. I think that's pretty solid for us. I can go either way on this. Okay, so he's kind of signaling that he has a sweeper here. He's willing to go down the 2 in order to get the marshal, or to get the bodyguard off the table. We're not going to screecher here. Oh, is he doing it for the Teferi? No, it's for the sweeper. Oh, okay, so let's double play. Now we are protected from a Cry, just not another Kaya. Luckily, a lot of the Esper decks right now are only running 3. That's no good. Good top deck though.
I can no longer stand by and eye
Huh.
much more malleable.
He is scrambling. And is the opposite of what we need. So the worst creature is a big problem against us. So maybe we shouldn't be ringing it in, but let's not trip on the finish line, friend. I wonder if I shouldn't have attacked in with the bodyguard. I probably should have just did the +1/+1 creature. We've got about 2 turn to recover here. Alright, so if we don't draw anything next turn, we will go to game.
Let's skip to the good part.
No point in sitting around while he's getting 2 cards a turn. Better board state. Does look like he's scrambling for cards though. So maybe we haven't lost yet, but it's looking pretty bad. Best draws for us. I don't actually know. Maybe another history. Probably not a bodyguard, but it is not a land, so play it out. If it gets absorbed, they're just gonna. Looks like it's good. I mean, that's not absorbed, but we had lost already. Yeah, I think we should have Screecher +1/+1. Then he could still kill off the bodyguard, but he'd have to commit both of them, which means the Teferi probably lives. Knowing that he has a bunch of hostage takers, I'm tempted to bring in Conclave. I don't want to bring Deputy of Detention. Cause us more problems. I don't know. We were really close to getting him there. Let's maybe cut one Unbreakable for Conclave. We did have a bad start. Did waste that one Unbreakable. Well, waste is a strong word, but yeah. I think I've seen some lists that take the sentry out, the Snubhorn, and I can definitely agree with that. He does feel kind of bad. But, I don't know. Could replace him with the Falcons. I think that's something I need to play out a little bit more. I change decks a lot. For anyone who watches my stream. Yeah, it's a little bit of a problem. So we're gonna actually do double play here with the War Screecher and the Sentry. Because they're both safe from Cry of the Canary. Still going to Cry of the Canarium if he has it. Didn't play anything. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Only this was another 1-drop. We could have popped the Sentry. We're still going to play that out. He absorbs it. I mean, that's fine. That means he's not doing it into our board state. So we're expecting Kaya here? Yes. Oh yeah, forgot. These are covering each other. That's kind of a problem. That's kind of a mistake. He shouldn't have covered the Dom. We're playing the curve here with the Gideon.
I will defend the weak at every opportunity. I believe in you, friend.
Doesn't matter what you give it there. We don't need the health. This is Esper and we... Ooh.
Retreat!
No, not land! Land is the only thing we don't want. That's the turn. Obviously another sweeper or even hostage taker is devastating. He might have us. I think this is our worst weenie one yet. We screwed up with the bodyguards and who we were bodyguarding. Not the end of the world, but pretty big mistake. We're hoping for breakable formation would be the best possible draw for us. Or like a Benelish Marshal would be pretty solid too. Obviously History of Benalia is good all the time. I find that attack surprising. He's at 8. Means he probably has an absorb here. But at 4 mana, it's not like we can hold on to this. We're just gonna cast it out. And if he has the absorb, he has the absorb.
This is a prime day for justice.
Let's do Indestructible on the Knight.
Your light will cleave the darkness.
And attack in with the Type Taker, and then I want to get that 2 damage without trading Kill Creature. Because if we hit Legion's Landing, it's really important for us to get the Legion's Landing. Wow. That kind of tells us that he has a sweeper. Abler. So he bounces the Black Blade.
Stand by and watch.
Bounces the token.
I have
Okay.
a plan.
Works too, I suppose. Doesn't. I don't know if I care that he did that. The attack, I think, is a mistake. Unless, of course, he's holding like another Vraska's. Then why would he attack the Blackblade? Oh my god, stop giving me land. Alright.
I believe in you.
Indestructible. Forward. Number 2. Some big balls on our opponent. We don't care about the Teferi.
I got
You don't want to play this out into an absorb, but at the same time, chumps the Blackblade, blocks a Type Taker. Are we just relying on the Blackblade to do his job? Actually, that's probably the best play. Do that. Oh, we forgot the buff. Oh. I mean, it gives us a flyer. Maybe it's not that big a deal. Still need to make sure we get our do our +1.
share in my life.
Misplays with Calidus.
Here we go.
Alright. What do you got, opponent? Oh, you've got something. Question is, what do you have? Could play out the Benelish here. It would give us lethal in the air. But again, we don't really want to play it out into an absorb. Actually, we do want to play it out into an absorb. Okay. So if playing it out into an absorb is a good idea there because it defines what we're gonna do, whether or not we need to hit. So wow, I'm actually surprised we came out of that one. Let's keep going. You can see like this deck has a lot of outs. It's really nice. With red deck wins, you're really when you fall behind like that, your only out is Experimental Frenzy, which is an amazing out. But no, Wait, we need seems fun. I think it's one of those decks too. Like if I played it more and I stopped making all these little tiny mistakes, it would be a lot better. Maybe we could even get to like consistently do 7 winners. So this is a little flooded, especially on the draw, but we curve out nice, and yeah, let's try it out. Ooh, possibly a mirror match? If it is, I mean, this is a great hand. Our opponent doesn't want to be the aggressor. I'll be the aggressor. Probably not a mirror match though, just because he had no 1-drop. Could be like Orzhov. I really like the Celebrant deck. Oh, maybe it is mirror match. Or a pretty nice hand for this matchup. Oh. Ooh, some token action. Okay. This is a terrible matchup for us, but let's get it done. Get it done. They actually don't have a great answer for Gideon. Makes this a little bit funny to do. Let's give this. This is actually an interesting choice. We can do Vigilance. Kind of like the Vigilance idea. Because I'm cool with paying life here. But I don't want to lose Gideon to a counterattack. I like this. Okay. Let's see what our opponent does. Conclave on Gideon would suck. But I'm cool with trading the Vanguard for the Taker. Well, trading life for the Taker. And trading the Bodyguard for Amara. Tribunal. He's not going to attack then. So let's not play out the Vanguard. Let's do a little bit of this again. I think the same rule applies. We're going to do the same thing where we vigilance.
Prepare for battle.
Let's see the argument for lifelink as well. And maybe that's something that we're going to be doing in the near future. We are getting flooded out pretty hard. Hoping that we never draw another land this game. But we'll see what happens. The good news is our opponent hasn't missed a land drop yet. So hopefully he continues to not miss land drops with us. Although they traditionally run more land than we do. Loxodon. Rough next turn. Alright, so now we have to do the lifelink because the crackback is actually going to kill us. Unbreakable formation would be. Of course, it's another land. Oh, you gotta do this to me, game. We could exile something, but play. Do the lifelink.
Your light will cleave the darkness.
Only attacking with the lifelink and the Gideon. And we're hoping he gets distracted and tries to attack the Gideon. Not super likely, though. Actually, it's probably not even worth attacking with the Vanguard because he chump blocks with the Loxodon. And then we end up paying just as much life for the heal. We accomplish nothing. So just the Gideon. Look at this hand. So bad. He didn't play a land drop that turn, so he has probably all gas in his hand. He might be sandbagging a little bit, but pretty high likelihood he has gas. But we're hoping he sends everything Gideon. It's not looking good though, friends. This is a bad matchup for us, but I don't think the matchup is why we lost. I think it's got flooded. Go on, opponent. Any day now. Alright, so he's ignoring Gideon, and I mean, this is what we were worried about. It is the best play for him to do. But it doesn't make us happy. And we're dead. Right, so this is 8, 15, 14. Don't really see any outs. Unless we just let the Vanguards die. Which, I mean, that's probably what we have to do. We did this. We can't get any value from these blocks. Let's just leave. For the next game. Got flooded. Our opponent did not. So against tokens, Deputy of Detention, devastating. Again, I like War screecher in both the mirror and the tokens. And I really like formation as well. Conclave Tribunal, not so much. A lot of them are going to actually bring in Knight of Autumn against us if they don't already mainboard it. Time Raveler is probably okay, actually. It really depends, right? Like, it could stop March of the Multitudes. That might be interesting. We're going to keep one in. Instead, we're going to cut a Vanguard, because he is going to outvalue the Vanguards. Same thing with, like, the Falcons. It's actually probably a good idea to cut some of the aspirants for Falcons. But I think we're just going to go this. Another Vanguard. Basically, we cut 2 Vanguards, 2 Conclaves. See how it goes. First. Oh, look. We got flooded last game, and now gonna get starved? It looks like we're gonna get starved. I mean, I'm not gonna mulligan down the 5. So, let's see how this goes. Right, so if we miss a land drop, we're gonna be in trouble, especially if he plays like Amara here. Safe Taker, probably one of the nicer things for us to see. However, we did miss her land drop. There's the history. We do have our own history, but he who places it first has got a huge advantage, and we missed another land drop. So, yeah. Come on, Magic. Don't do me like this. Not 2 games in a row. I don't think there's any coming out of this. You're far too late, Mr. Plains. Do our own Bonalia. We have to chump block here. If we hit a blue source and we can in all of the knights we come out of it, it's gonna be a rough go though. He has lethal on board, right? That's 22. Time opponent. You board those in again? We block the Type Taker, we just lose. We have to do knights. We'd go down the 1, but then he'd have the flyer. There's a blue source, however, we have to go down the 1. We can chump block the other 2. I mean, we're not dead, we're just in. Oh, let's do it. The comeback. Comeback happened. March of the Multitudes and Are you kidding me? Oh, whatever. Thanks for watching my video, And as always, please hit that subscribe button. There will be more content in the future.